It's Hume Football League to latest hot off the press here on the Friday night sports show is that Hume is cancelling their games this weekend. Joining us is the Vice President of the League who's been on the phone all day trying to work it out, is Phil Bouffler. G'day Phil, how are you?
G'day Wayne, how are you going? I'm better now we've made a final decision, to be truthful about it all.
Yeah, it was a hard one, wasn't it? It's been a whole day in the process. AFL New South Wales have been involved in it. Tell us how that unfolded.
It was almost a story of attrition, to be truthful about all this, because, obviously with the Victorian problem, it's amazing how many netballers and footballers live on the Victorian side of the border, on the river. So as soon as they put in the no travelling unless for emergencies or necessary circumstances, well, that was the end of football. So, there was whole grades of netball coaches, junior people, footballers. I think one of the clubs had 20 footballers or 19 first and second grade footballers unable to play. So, and as it went on, more and more people sort of pulled out, and it just became unmanageable. So we just decided, in the interest of the whole sport and the integrity of the draw, we needed to just have a general bye.
It's a general bye. Do you make the game up, Phil? Is that sort of been discussed by the directors?
Stage Wayne, we want to have the grand final on the same day, so we can't swap too much around. So this is round 13, just fallen in a hole or a bye, or whatever you want to call it. So hopefully next weekend we'll be back at round 14, and round 13 has just disappeared.
Okay, we'll follow that with some interest as to the outcomes. But last week we did have some games, so let's have a look at what happened. And I reckon the match of the round and the win for CDHBU over Lockhart was telling to keep their finals chances alive and maybe dent Lockhart's. CDHBU 15-7-97, Lockhart 12-7-79.
Lockhart were in charge of that game, and they were going pretty well. And at half time, the CDHBU came home with a wet sail. So it was a great win by the CDHBU people. It really was. And they'd be very disappointed, Lockhart. That was a good chance. It just slipped away. 4 points has gone missing there. And that, we have to buy and that sort of thing. It's just going to be hard to get up those 4 points.
Certainly will be. Smith and Cannon 7 and 3 apiece for the winners, and Smith, Pratt, Butler and Holding good players. Harrington's had a great season, hit 4 goals and was the best player. Ladd kicked 3, he was second best player. Jay Phillips, Margosis and Middleton amongst it, but they were very disappointed with the one that got away there, Lockhart, for their season. Holbrook didn't let nothing get away, beat the Billabong Crows 24-17, 161 to the Crows, 2 goals. It's like catching a fish in the aquatic centre. It gets away from you, and the Billabong Crows have had a few problems this year catching fish.
Yeah, I think they might have a few holes in their net out there. They're not going real well at all, so that was very disappointing. Holbrook was a great win. They're a good side, Holbrook, and they continue to improve. They're very well coached, and as I said, might be coming down to our man, the president, and his advice on farm wants a wife, this sort of thing. This could be helping him.
I reckon it has. Mitchell, Bender, McKinlay, Beaumont all booted 3. And if I look at it, I reckon there might have been about 14 goal kickers on their side, which is an incredible effort getting their name on the team sheet. Walsh, Ross and McCarthy. It was Flanagan and Norris kicking goals for the Billabong Crows, and Morris, Austin and Kerr were the better players on the day. The other Austin boy also in the better players, but they were pretty hard to find. It was another interesting match, and one by the Roundwell Bundaree Giants, 14-11-95 to Howlong 11-4-70. Was a great performance there by Roundwell Bundaree. They've kept their finals, or maybe even their double chance hopes alive.
I think that gets them up to third, so they're going pretty well. They're a little bit slow to start, the Giants, but they've got a bit of momentum now, and that was a very, very good win. Howlong, they've been up and down, but they play pretty well. So at home, so it was a very, very good win away for the Giants, to be truthful about that.
It was. Murray has been great form for Howlong. He kicked 5, and Baker and Hughes joined him in the better players. It was Hunt and Wardius both booting 3, and Leschke and Williams got a couple apiece. C-Duck and Colhagen, C. Williams, J-Duck and B. Hunt and T. Holman were the better players for the Giants. And they really are having a very good period. They're probably disappointed that we're not playing weekend because they're in such a good run right at the moment. Looking at the other matches, and Gindera 8-11-59 to beat Culcan 5-10-40. This was a great performance here by Gindera, and a bit of an upset, and a good one for them to get, because it sort of gets them out of that bottom group.
Would have been an interesting game this week, Wayne, coming up with Gindera and Lockhart, but anyway, that's not to be. But that was a very good win by Gindera. They're coming home with a bit of a wet sail at the end of the season. They were slow to start, but they've got a bit of momentum up now, and that was very good. Culcan, a little bit disappointing once again, so I'm not sure what's happening there.
I tell you what, they have been, and just been so inconsistent, the Lions, this year. Galvin kicked another 6. He's in the leading goal kickers, and in a club that hasn't kicked a massive amount of goals in a tough season for the Bulldogs, he has been a revelation kicking. I think more than 30 goals he's up to now for the season, so it's a great effort from him. Osborne, a great effort, another big win, 17-16, 118. Beat the old foe, Brock Burrum Buttock. It was 1964, I better get it right. I tell you what, this was a great win by Osborne.
Bit of tautology there, Wayne, so that was good. No, that was a big win by Osborne. I mean, I went to that game. I did leave early, had to go and see my granddaughter. But at quarter time, wasn't a lot in it, really. Huge injury to the Brock Burrum Saints with Matt Surdy getting a punctured lung coming out of that game. So he's going to be out for a little while, and hopefully he'll be back for the finals because he'll be a huge loss for them. But as I said on the day, they're a very tall side, Osborne. When they ran out on the ground, they just got tall people all over the place. Young Nick Madden's had a very good game, and they're very competitive, Osborne. I'm not sure how they're going to be stopped, to be truthful.
No, I don't think so, but Armstrong's got to be stopped. He kicked another 6. He leads the goal kicking. He's right up in that echelon where you start to think, could he get 100 for the season if he got a big bag? But they share it around so well, and that may be one of the factors that would stop that. O'Connell's been in great form. Stenning plays great. O'Rourke is an excellent player, as you mentioned, and the Galvin boys all play well. Kibido and Sedgwick a couple for Brock Burrum and Neander and Luff and Koshitsky, that famous name from out of the Saints that was a good player. Henty, 15-10-100 to beat the Murray Magpies, 4-11-35. A regulation win here for the Swampies.
Good win. They needed to win that game. Once again, this weekend would have been a good game with the Murray Magpies up against Colcan. So, Murray Magpies would have fancied their chances there a little bit. But anyway, getting back to last week's game, Henny were too strong. Good away win. I've seen Henny play a couple of times. They've been pretty good both times I've seen them play, so this is another good effort. They've got some good players out there.
Oh, they have. Turlick is really good, 9 goals. He's right up in the top of the goal kicking of this year behind Armstrong. O'Brien, Turlick and Connell were good players, and Edwards and Jones tried hard for the Murray Magpies. As you mentioned, that this week's games, round 13, these will be the lost games, and they were interesting. Brock Burrum and Holbrook, I was really looking forward to that game because at Brocklesby, I fancied that Holbrook could in fact lose a match that could put some pressure on them in relation to the top 2, but that now won't happen.
Yeah, that won't happen. So it's an unfortunate thing, Wayne, and it's not something the league took lightly to do this, but it just got unmanageable in the end. So, we think we've done the best for the league and the best for the players and the best for the supporters, really.
Yeah, I know you have. Colcan and the Murray Magpies was going to be at Colcan. Henty and CDHBU would have been at Henty. That would have been another thriller. Lockhart and Ginger, another ripper at Lockhart. Billabong Crows and Howlong might have been an interesting one down at Urana too, given how Howlong haven't been getting wins, so the Crows desperately need to find one. And Ranbrol, Bundaree, Waller and Osborne would have been an absolute belter at Walbundary. But we just may get to see that later in the season at Walbundary, where the grand final is played. This is going to be very interesting to see how we regroup. Hopefully everything gets settled in Victoria for Hume, New South Wales to not have to cancel out next week. And we look forward to your comments on it. Phil Bouffler from the Hume Footy League.
Good on you. Thanks, Wayne.